Maybe you heard last fall that the federal Liberal government ran a gun buyback trial on the island of Cape Breton in Nova Scotia. They've been trying now for just about 6 years to have this buyback all across the country, in which they were going to confiscate more than 1,500 models of guns, probably about 150,000 to 250,000 guns altogether. And they were going to pay compensation to the owners. But these were guns that had been banned because they looked like assault weapons. They looked like military-style guns. Well, they started with a pilot project in Cape Breton, more than 5 years after they announced they were going to start. And that project went for 6 weeks and collected a total of 25 guns. It's a voluntary turn-in. They will say it's not. The government will say that it's compulsory. But if you look at anything that they put out, anything that the ministers have said, it really is on the honor system. Do you have one of these guns? Please bring it to a local police force, and they will take it from you, and we will give you a check. Except now, most local police forces will not have anything to do with this. The Edmonton Police Service won't. Montreal won't. Toronto doesn't want anything to do with it. Vancouver, the OPP in Ontario, the Ontario Provincial Police, they don't want anything to do with it either. So mostly no one knows where you would take your guns if you wanted to give them up anyway. But the Cape Breton example, when you figure that the average rifle in Canada costs about $700, the Cape Breton example was $6,000 per gun. Now, that's not the money that the owner is getting. That's the money that's being gobbled up in the bureaucracy, in the administration of all of this stuff. But now we have new figures out for the national program, and it is far worse than the Cape Breton program. The national program has cost about $24,000 per gun collected. Now, the fallacy of all of this is that these guns are not a threat to public safety to begin with. They are not guns being used by criminals. They're guns being used by hunters and sportsmen and farmers and other people who have to hunt down vermin. But they've been banned by the government because, oh my gosh, they look scary. Most of these guns have non-military, non-assault versions that have the same caliber, the same firing velocity, the same number of rounds, and they are exactly the same, but they don't have the scary militaristic cladding on them. So they're still legal. So the government is paying about $24,000 per gun for a group of rifles that aren't a threat to anybody in Canada to begin with. Now, the cost so far of this program has been just about $800 million. If you want to know how much policing that is, consider that the Toronto Police Service is the 4th largest police service on the continent, behind only New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. And the amount the Liberals have spent on the gun buyback program is more than half of the Toronto Police Service budget for a year. That's how much money is being taken away from policing in this country for this fake, phony, useless gun buyback project. The gun buyback project has cost more than the budget for the whole of the Montreal City Police, the whole of Vancouver. It's a useless program. The government even knows it's useless. They admitted so much last year in a kind of indirect way. But politically, they don't think they can get out from underneath it because it's popular in Quebec and it's popular in downtown Toronto. And those are two areas where the government doesn't feel it can lose any seats if it's aiming towards a majority. For Post Media, I'm Lorne Gunter.